Hello, it's Adam Morrison. When it comes to top-tier contracting, my go-to choice is McGilvery Environmental. I know a thing or two about excellence, and that's exactly what you'll find with Kip McGilvery and his team. They're not just any contractor, they're the best in Spokane and North Idaho. From start to finish, they ensure your project is completed with the highest quality results. With years of experience and expertise, they handle it all. New construction, meticulous repairs, asphalt paving for residential and commercial properties, excavation, and even environmental remediation. So why wait? Reach out to Kip McGilvery Environmental today by calling 208-556-6384 for your free estimate. Don't forget to mention my name, Adam Morrison, and experience the difference McGilvery Environmental brings to the table. Again, that's 208-556-6384, McGilvery Environmental. My number one choice for all my contracting needs. We're very excited to announce a new partner to the Perimeter Podcast, M4 CPA. M4 CPA is a family-owned accounting firm passionate about helping businesses and their owners create a secure future for their families. They pride themselves on the quality of their work and put their clients first, ensuring they get the attention and care they deserve. Their mission is to provide exceptional accounting services to help you achieve your financial goals. M4 CPA is all about building long-term relationships based on trust, integrity, and transparency. With a team of experienced professionals, they offer personalized solutions to meet your needs. If you're a Perimeter listener, here's an exclusive offer for you. Mention the Perimeter Podcast when you reach out to M4 CPA and get a free business consultation to assess your financial strategies. So, if you're looking for an accounting firm that truly cares about your business, trust M4 CPA. They're in your corner every step of the way. M4 CPA, accounting you can trust with a personal touch. Learn more at m4cpa.com.
Perimeter Season 5, Episode 4, presented by McGilvery Environmental, M4 CPA, and Idaho Central Credit Union. A good week, good opener last night. Texas Southern played hard, wasn't very skilled. We'll get into that a little bit. And then we have Oklahoma coming to town at Spokane Arena. I don't know the new name of it, Veterans Memorial. I got the new naming rights. I don't think it's on yet. But anyway, that game has been lit the last 3 years, so I'm excited for it. I think the fans are excited for it. We beat Baylor last year. We beat Kentucky in there. We've played good recently, so it gets going, and then we'll preview Creighton and ASU coming up after that. But so it's a fun week. I thought last night was a little bit interesting. Tyon Grant-Foster started, and I'm 99% sure that he was just put in the book wrong, and it was supposed to be Adam Miller. I heard that in the post-game show with Coach Few's, press conference. So it was a head-scratcher, but he played terrific. But it was also like, I didn't know he would start from, just winning his injunction, and that's me saying that up based off of, like, being in shape. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, but he was terrific, but it was kind of like, I think I missed the mark on who would start. But yeah, I mean, as far as like how we looked early, we started 1 for 8. Wasn't great. It was kind of like a little buzzkill. Graham Ike, who's going to have a terrific season, has been terrific for us. Obviously, started 0 for 5 out of that 1 for 8, and like 3 of them from like 4 feet. Now their big did a good job of hitting him with his body, but staying vertical, and so it kind of took his legs out from underneath him. But yeah, it was kind of an anticlimactic start to an exciting season or exciting group with a lot of talent. It's like, oh shit, they look bad. You know what I mean? And some of that has to do with Texas Southern, and then some of it, guys, they're all jacked up. But yeah, Graham started 0 for 5, and I was kind of like, yuck, that's not a way to start the season. Obviously your shooting percentage is in the tank. But he did a good job of bouncing back and ended up 5 for 11 at 13 points and 11 rebounds. So he was terrific. But what were your initial thoughts? Obviously we're not going to lose to Texas Southern. Right. We're just not. And again, if you don't listen to our pregame and postgame, this is a team that's been to the NCAA tournament 5 out of the last 7 years, or 5 out of the last 8. They didn't make it last year. Right. So like, this is a good program. they win their conference tournament. It's not like, we say it on the radio, we say it on the, the pregame show. And sometimes I think people think we're just trying to hype the game up. Like, we'll say if a team's really not that good.
Mm-hmm.
We won't say it that bad for you change the channel, hopefully. But we'll be like, we're probably going to win by 30, but this team will go win their conference title and be a 16 seed. But it's still, your NCAA tournament team. But it was like, we couldn't like find any rhythm at all. It looked choppy.
It did.
Yeah. And so, it was a little bit interesting. I like the drama of that stuff too, though, because it's like, all right, what if we come out and go 8 for 8 and then the game's literally over within the first 10 minutes of real time, not even clock time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, well, yeah, then I'm dozing off. I'm like a child in, class that doesn't want to pay attention. I'm like,
trying to find something to talk about.
So I'm like, okay, I gotta call the game. But what was your initial thoughts just on the start?
I was tracking the start. We started 0 for 6, then 1 for 8. We're 1 for 5 from the 3-pointer. And then I was like I was really paying attention to who was subbing in and out.
Yes.
Like I wanted to know who was first in, and because Adam Miller was the first in for Tyon.
Yeah. And he came in at the 2.5 minute mark, which seemed early. So then that validates he was put in the book wrong.
Yeah.
And so it was, because usually they go around the first media. So around the 16 and below mark is when your first substitutions will happen. Because 2.5 minutes you can't really do anything.
Right.
Especially to start a game. So that confirms okay, somebody in the book wrote it wrong, and that would be probably Jorge, our director of basketball operations. Great dude. But I'm going to ask him about it, and I'll see how red he turns. And I wonder, thank God wasn't a big game or it's a weird situation. Because people that don't know, I mean, we have a ton of basketball fans, obviously, that listen to the show. Everybody there's an official scorebook, and you got to put it in by pencil. Each team fills it out. If you put a wrong number or start the wrong guy and they start the game, it's technical. So it's a real thing, and you got to put it in right. So if you watch, I think it has to be in there at the 20-minute mark pregame.
Okay.
On the clock, 20 minutes. If you watch, there's always a guy that comes up for each team and takes a picture of the book real quick, and that's the official starters. So then they go back, okay, this is who started. You know what I mean? But it used to be you just memorized it or wrote it down. The guys would just write it down. But that's probably what happened, was just some simple miscommunication. So the argument would be like, well, why couldn't they just change it pregame? It's not like AU, man. Once it says Tyon starting, he's starting.
Right.
So that's I think what was the kind of the head scratcher. Now, was he terrific again? Yes, but it was he's only been back for a week. I Coach Few and the staff probably weren't going to throw him to the wolves like that. I was curious too, as far as who was, substitution patterns are going to be a thing all year long. It's something that we can talk about, good or bad throughout the season, because there's going to be nights when guys play bad, and there's going to be nights when groups play better, such and such. I mean, it happened last year. We had Ben Gregg and Ajayi switching roles, and then Dusty and Achente eventually. And then you're like, sometimes you look at a game like, oh shoot, somebody only played 4 minutes tonight. You know what I mean? And it's going to be a little bit of that this year. But I was curious. The one that I was not shocked. Shocked is not the right word. A little not perplexed. Let me think of the right terminology, because it's not like I was expecting different. But I thought Steele would get in earlier. He came in at the I'd like to say the 9-minute mark or something like that. So after the second media.
Yeah, he came in for Huff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit not shocked, but I'm I was off on that is basically what I'm saying. Wrong, I guess. He played terrific, but I thought he would be one of the first goes off the bench as far as perimeter guys. Now that could have been a defensive thing. I mean, obviously Texas Southern was trying to spread you out and bounce it. Steele's not a terrible defender, but he's not like an Achente or a Worley type, but he's not bad. You know what I mean? And so, but that again, it's going to be one of those situations. I think it goes game by game. who's playing well in practice, what's personnel look like for the other team, what have you. But I was a little bit shocked on that one a little bit. So it was a little bit different. And then Davis Fogel didn't play until the second half. We talked a lot of great things about that kid. He's going to be terrific. He ended up having 11 points and real quick, and I loved it. It was like, been in that spot before as a freshman. Now, obviously, we weren't as loaded, and I ended up being, I averaged 11 and a half and came off the bench, probably like our sixth man that year for the perimeter, right? We had really good players. We had 6 seniors, blah, blah, blah. But you come in late and you're like pissed off. You're like, hell or high water, I'm shooting every fucking time I touch it. And he had that look to him.
That's what he did. Yeah.
And he did. And I don't blame him, but it's like, no, man, I'm getting mine. And it's not a selfish thing. People think, if you're listening, like, well, that's selfish. Like, no, it's not. The game's over, out of reach. And you want guys like that are kind of like selfish in a good way. Still know how to play the game. IQ's terrific. But like, no, I'm not passing it to one of the walk-ons. Like, sorry, bro. You know what I mean? I'd been in those situations. Yeah. Like, sorry, Shaggy, love you. Stephen Gentry, who's on staff now. Like, I'm not swinging it to you at this end of the game. It's my freshman year. You know what I mean? I'm shooting him. He looked good, but obviously not in the first crack rotation wise. So that was a little bit, surprising, I guess. But he is a freshman. All these other guys have played. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be hard because we can sit here and it's like I said it on last episode. It is great for our show to have all of this topics.
Yes,
but also we could be beating our heads against the wall on like every single decision because it might just be a personnel thing. It might be just a practice thing.
How much can we take away from the substitutions and like first in, first out, and like how it went last night from that game, considering it was a blowout and it was, I guess, closer in the first 10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah.
But I mean, it was one of those games where you're just like, I don't know how much there is a takeaway from this game other than we look good. We beat a team that's 300 in like the Ken Pom.
Yep.
And I expected this, but I don't think we got a lot of like answers from it.
Well, that's a very good point. I think we'll get them against Oklahoma.
Yeah,
we'll find out. And they're not a top 25 team, but they're a top 25 program, if that makes sense. They have, only 2 returners, and we'll dive into their, kind of look here in a second. But it's also like, you're right. Like the rotations weren't under, real anxiety for the players. So like who are you going to put in when it's only a 6-point game with 2 minutes go in the first half instead of 25, and you're like, okay, you can get in. I can get you your minutes real quick.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? So we got a little bit of answers, but not all of them, obviously.
Someone, the writer next to me said to me, like, because like Ike, Huff, they all came out really early in the second half and didn't play much, and that probably had a lot to do with like Huff getting 4 fouls and getting a BS technical, but I feel like last year, like Huff and Ike would stay in for most of the game, even if it was a blowout. And
yeah, I think obviously, those are our 2 main horses this year. Obviously, like we could talk about the perimeter and all we want, and it's a very important factor of how we're going to do. But I'm throwing the ball to those 2 MFers in the entire game. You know what I mean? And then like they know that, and it's not like they have to both play well for us to win. One could play, but one of them has to be productive. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those where I think it's saving your horses for what's coming.
Right.
And then also too, like, those guys those guys understand it. And I've coached, and obviously not at the Division I level, but like when you're playing a blowout game, like your best players, you look at them and be like, you're coming out a little bit early tonight because the other kids that, when it's a close game, those kids don't get in or they barely get in. So like you're paying that back. And so you better be standing up on the bench and cheering. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a real thing too. So yeah, I mean, the first half was terrible as far as offensive flow. We only shoot 43%, 3 for 14 from 3. Again, I know it's not overreaction Tuesday, but remember the losses we had last year?
Yep.
Couldn't shoot,
Mm.
and it's going to be a theme this year. And if we can't space the floor inconsistently, get into around the upper 30s, and have some games where you're creeping 40, 45, 50, there's going to be some games we might lose.
Mhm.
And I mean that every year. And again, I've said it over and over again. It's a make or miss league. It's an NBA saying. It's no different in college. You can run all your actions. You can get your personnel into great spots. If they don't put the ball in the basket, it doesn't matter what you ran.
Right.
I mean, it's just simple. So, like, what that really means is they say in the NBA all the time, like, you run your action, you get the wide open corner three, and the guy misses it. You, as a coach, you guys suck. And then if he makes it, like, oh my God, he's an offensive guru. They all run the same shit.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Or similar. You know what I
Definitely.
mean? Like, there's no, like, it's not like the wooden years where you just, magically invented a new offense. And,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? So, that was concerning. The only bad one we took in the first half was the second Innocente one after he made one. He took one early in the clock, and I was standing sitting, obviously, and Huey was right next to me at the scores table, and there was definitely some grumbling coming from there, and I could hear it through my mic, and I was like, that's funny. What the hell is that? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, just under his breath. So I don't know, man. Again, we could take certain things from this game. The two bigs ended up playing good. I liked Fogel late. Tyon Grant-Foster, for being out of shape, but led the team in scoring, looked terrific.
Yeah.
15 points, 5 of 7, 5 of 5 from the free throw line. Had 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 0 assists, but 2 turnovers, 1 steal. Played great, played 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Terrific. Plus 20, 23. So maybe he starts by
Yeah.
but you could see where he's a matchup problem, and he's only going to get better because he's going to get in better shape. And when I keep saying in shape, this is not like he's 10 pounds overweight. It's just not be able to go practice for a month and a half, 2 months, and playing live.
Yeah.
It's just natural. Like, if you look at him, like his lift off the ground, you're like, oh, he'll get like 5 or 6 inches back.
Mm-hmm.
Just once he gets in like complete shape. And then if you look at his body, you're like, yeah, I'll probably lose 5 pounds. Not out of shape, not fat, but it's the basketball leanness,
Right.
is what I'm saying. So I don't know, man. We obviously turned it up in the second half. We shoot 65% compared to shooting 43, 22 of 34, 4 for 8 for downtown. So we go 7 of 22. That's 31% from 3. Not horrible. Anytime you're in the 30s, it's doable, because again, it's like effective field goal percentage. We shoot 7 shot, or we make 7, shoot 22, 3 points each. So basically we get a point a shot. That's kind of how they look at it sometimes too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, analytically, if you're listening, you're like, oh, I see what they mean. So sometimes that's why, people are like, you shot 33s, you went 10 for 30. It's only 30%. It's like, we got a point every time we shot it, essentially.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's kind of the thought process behind taking a ton of threes. If you're that type of team, it balances itself out, essentially.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I don't know. I was pretty happy with, obviously, the end result. I hate to be like rude, but like, Texas Southern offensively was horrible, man.
I had not seen so many air balls at a game in my life.
We said it on the air. I saw 5 airball banks, and 3 of them from straight on. You know, where you airball it, but it hits just backboard, I think is almost even worse, because that means you're throwing a fucking dart.
Mm-hmm.
There was 5 of them last night.
Yeah.
Think about it.
It was
2 of them, 3 of them were from straight on. I said it on the air. I'm like, I coached 3rd grade boys. I haven't seen that since that.
Yeah, no.
And those are kids that are just like, sometimes they're just pressuring, they're trying to get it up, and you're like, okay, that's not how we shoot it, Johnny. You know what I mean? And they're like, oh yeah, that one doesn't have a chance to go in ever. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather have you punt, like, take it with your foot and punt it. It might go in. You know what I mean? Like, so I was like, holy crap. And again, it's not the picking on, because I said on the air too, like, I don't want to, these are young athletes, young man, but I was like, oh wow. Well, like, some of them were like darts, dude. Like, just
they're just launching them. Yeah.
Just launching them. They were 5 for 30. That's 17%. and 0 for 11 from 3 in the second half. So obviously abysmal. Our defense had something to do with it. Okay, point guard situation.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
The Perimeter will be right back after a word from our sponsor.
It's time for Home Team Rewards. Zag fans, get your Bulldog branded ICCU Premier Rewards Visa credit card, the only card where you can earn rewards for everyday purchases while giving back to Gonzaga University. Choose from a Visa Rewards card with a lower rate or a Premier Rewards card with maximum rewards. With no annual fees, card control, and next-level security, you can spend smart from tap to app. Zags, rejoice! Find your card at iccu.com/gozags on approved credit.
Okay, point guard situation.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we just did a thing about the rotations. So Braden Smith in the first half only played 9 minutes, 9.5. And Mario St. Cyprien played the other 10.5. So that was a little bit interesting because Braden took a couple when they went underneath the ball screen. Not the worst shots, but I think it's one of those where you better make them early. And then Coach Field will let you take them. You know what I mean? So like it's kind of those, okay, and so that was curious to see. But then I thought Braden in the second half really led us in getting that run going. He had that sequence where he had about 4 or 5 really good short bounce passes, short little plays in the paint, was really pushing the pace, disorganizing the defense. All those things. So he ended up having an okay game. Obviously, he was just 1 for 4, only 3 points, but he has 4 rebounds, 4 assists, only 1 turnover.
Yeah.
And again, he needs to be a game manager. And that's not a knock. I know it's a football reference, but make your plays, make the simple reads, and you'll be fine.
His job is to pass it to Huff and Ike.
100%.
Right?
And it really is. Like, get it into the offense. There'll be nights when you get your 12, maybe 15. So he's a good player. He was Patriot League Player of the Year. So I don't care what conference you're in, you're Player of the Year, you're a good player as a freshman. But just be a game manager. Hand it off to Emmitt Smith, and every once in a while you throw it to Michael Irvin. You know what I mean?
Right,
And you win Super Bowls or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, Troy Aikman was obviously a Hall of Famer. But you know what I mean? Like, just be simple. You got talent around you. And then your talent will show because of what else is around you as well. So I thought it was a B plus type game. I thought Saint Cyprien was all right off the bench. I like his game. He kind of plays fast and downhill, a little chippy.
Yeah.
He's always yapping at guys, and he threw that one-handed lob pass to DeJohn that ended up being a foul call. That was a bad decision. Like the scoop running, and it was like, that one's not. That doesn't fly. Coach Few doesn't like that.
It was also scary. I mean, not scary, but it was just like
it didn't make sense.
It didn't make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, point guard situation is still yet TBD, to be determined. Obviously, Braden Smith, we're going to give him a fair, assessment as the season goes along. We can't compare him to other guys until he's had multiple games under his belt, but he's looked apart for the most part. But it was interesting to see that first half because his crew was part of the crew that was 1 for 8, and that was not his fault. But that's a little bit how it's going to go this year is when you check in with the crew that you're in is your plus minus part of it. And sometimes it's not your fault. You didn't play bad. Sometimes you didn't do anything, but you're like part of a group that was -6 real quick. Bam, and you're like, shit, I didn't even touch the ball, or I didn't even take a jumper. But it's just how it rolls, man, with a lot of talent on your team. So, all in all, obviously a great first win, whatever. We've won 30, I think it was 36 straight openers since 1988.
36, home openers.
Home
right?
openers, which is insane.
That is insane.
Which is like, I don't even know how that's I just don't know how somebody doesn't dumb into us a win, because we've had some good ones too. Yeah,
and I actually pulled up openers. Well, I guess these weren't home openers, but we opened against Baylor last year, obviously, and then number 6 Kansas in 2020. We play good openers.
Exactly. So it was that was a crazy stat. But also I was like, okay, we got to think from like 88 to probably like 95, even like 97. We're probably playing like Whitman,
right?
Whitworth. You know what I mean? Which is fine. There's not a knock, but it was like some of that when Coach Fitzgerald was around, they were probably scheduling some D3s or whatever, or some
in week one.
in week, the true home opener, which is no problem. But it's like, yeah, that's a crazy stat for. We've obviously been good for 25 years, but not 36. That's what I mean. That's my point. It's like San Francisco, USF hasn't won in Spokane since like the late 80s, and you're like, how the fuck? They haven't won one time.
They should have chanced into one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like just dumb into one. One of our guys gets sick, whatever. So anyway, we ended up winning by, was that 55?
Yeah.
Like 52-16 in the second half. Overall total numbers, 37-69. So we shoot, what's the total? 53%. Like I mentioned, 7-22, 31%, and then 17-21. 81%. That was obviously terrific. And then the rebounding was crazy. We out-rebound them by 25.
Yeah.
Or 19, excuse me.
19, yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at personal fouls, 19, which is a crazy number. That's got to be something we got to hang our hats on. And it's something that Gonzaga has in the last 15 years is rebounding differential. And that was a physical team. So that was obviously a great start. I thought, perimeter play was good. Tyon Grant-Foster, and I can't believe we haven't talked about him, but there's how much talent we have. I thought Worley looked terrific.
Worley, yeah, I was.
He's
impressed.
He played a ton of minutes, and if you look at his line, he's 3 of 4, 8 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, only 1 turnover, 4 steals.
That was in the first half.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was his totals.
So it was his totals, but he had 4. I was just saying
4
4
steals.
steals in the first half.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plus 33 as the highest plus minus, and only 18 minutes. Like, he's going to play.
Yeah.
And he's going to play a lot. And so, obviously the knock on him, and it's been, and this is not even like a, a hot take. He can't shoot, or he's not a willing shooter. Doesn't mean he can't, but it's kind of not part of his game. But he's kind of reminds me of, again, I got to say this the right way, but like a poor man's Anton. Like, he can do everything. He can switch, go down the glass, gets his hands on a lot of balls, can guard 1 through 4, even 5 if he had an emergency situation. Pretty good in the break, good decision maker, just doesn't have the perimeter shot like Anton in the scoring.
Mm-hmm.
But you're like, you need guys like that to win, and that's winning, and you need guys to swing the ball, and he's going to be a guy that, hey, go guard, like I said, and I think previous episode, like, go guard their best player, or go like trip him, you know what I mean? Like, go fall on him and get him pissed off. And so I thought he was terrific, and I could see why, talking about like Davis Fogel earlier, that's probably the minutes he's chewing up, right? And it's like, well, hey man, kid, you're great, and you will play this year, and he will, but this kid's a senior, and he's a grown man, you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. He's doing all these little things. So overall, I thought everybody looked the part. Nobody played shitty. And we've had that a couple times. The only one that played bad early was Graham. He was terrible. And then he figured it out, and he ends up having 13-11.
Right.
So he finally got low position, blah, blah, blah. But him and Huff are the last people we're probably going to talk about as far as what they're going to do this season. They're going to be good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're going to be really good. So obviously good start, but Texas Southern offensively in the second half was awful. It was hard to watch.
Yeah.
It was hard not to like sound like an asshole making fun of them, and I mean that in a nice way, but it was like, oh my god, dude, like, make a jumper.
Yeah, I mean, the second half stats were 5 for 30.
5 for 30 is insane.
And 0 for 11 on 3-pointers. Like, it was tough. So
yeah, it was bad. Oklahoma, Porter Mosier. Remember, he had that run with Loyola, Chicago, and turned them kind of back into not a power, but they're like a legitimate, recognizable mid-major. Went to Oklahoma, took the bag. Don't blame them. You have to do those things. Different resources, blah, blah, blah. Kind of runs that analytic-based system. Shoots a lot of threes. They shot 30 in their first game, which is crazy. But it's going to be something that we're going to have to obviously be able to defend, right? It's like, they were 11 for 30. So again, 36%. They played St. Francis. Obviously, it's not the basketball powerhouse that we all know and love. But they can look at our stats, do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's the analytic based layup or three, no in betweens, no jumpers. You know what I mean? Like, not that they won't take them, but it's like kind of frowned upon. And, it's going to be a team for us that if we don't guard the 3-point line and get back in transition, they can beat anybody. They were decent last year. I think they were 20-12. They only return 2 returners from last year's team. So it's one of these deals where I could come up here and kind of lie to you about, their scheme and their, operation. But I haven't seen him in it yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of the deal with, every one of these, transfer portal teams. The 2 guys that are coming back are Dayton Forsyth and Mohammed Weg. And Forsyth shot 44% on 47 attempts last year from 3. So he's capable. 40 of 44, 90% from the free throw line. And then Muhammad is more of a big inside. So point is, they are going to run. They're going to run all like Alabama. They remind me of Alabama, not just because they wear the red jerseys, but they're going to space you out, take a lot of threes. And some of them, when you watch them, you're like, if you're like a traditional basketball guy, you're like, God, ugly, man. What the hell is that? It's the shot they want.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean they take bad ones, but there's some that you're like, all right, first side rip, and if it's semi-open, like, let it rip, man, like, whatever. Traditionally have been a good rebounding team, but again, I think our size inside will be what our advantage will be. So obviously Braden and Graham are going to get a lot of touches inside. And then we have to, again, run them off the line. And, there's certain games where, you're like, okay, if we can just stop that one thing, we're going to be fine. If we can hold them to a legitimate percentage 3-point from the 3 line, we have the advantage. But this is a good team and a good program. Like I said, they played St. Francis. And, they shoot it pretty well. They have, let's see, where's the points? They have 5 guys in double figures, 16, 16, 16, 14, 18. So obviously played really well. It's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be lit in the arena. I'm excited for it. They did play Wisconsin in an exhibition.
Yeah.
On the 24th of October. And they won 84-83. So this team is obviously good. Wisconsin is terrific, has been for years. In that game as well, they had 4 guys in double figures. Looks like Brown is probably their best player. And then they had 2 other guys with 9. So again, it's a team that's more modern in the sense that they're going to score by committee, kind of like us on certain games. Every guy has 8 to 12, and then our one guy has 19, and you can't stop everybody. Good luck guarding us. It's no different with this team. So I think it's going to be a really good matchup. Obviously, talent-wise, the nod would go to us. But if I'm Porter Mosier, I'm just like, we got nothing to lose. It's kind of a big, a chance for us to get a tournament-type resume win. We're playing at their building. If we lose, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think they'll come in really loose, ready to play. That arena has been terrific as far as like home court advantage for us, and we've shot it well recently. We used to not.
Yeah.
But I just like the atmosphere, and it's cool. People are drunk in a good way. I don't mean drunk, but just lubed up, and it's a lot of fans that don't get to go to the games. And we've done a good job of scheduling good ones in there. So it's usually a fun one. I mean, remember the Kentucky one 2 years ago?
That was like so cool.
It was awesome because we were hyped and playing so good. And, and for me, it sounds cheesy and it's not going to like pat myself on the back, but I know so many people I've met, and you probably the same way. Like, I've never gone to a game, but I get to go to the WCC tournament, and now I get to go to an arena game.
Yeah.
You're like, hell yeah, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it's important.
It's important. It's awesome. And that's a real thing for your fan base to like still be clamoring at the doors to get in. Like
Absolutely.
there's, so I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a terrific matchup. Like I said, inside, with our two lefties, we have the advantage. We have to guard the 3-point line. It's an analytic game. I'll be curious to see who they start, but I think defensively with Tyon, Adam Miller's a good defender, Worley, Innocente, we can switch most actions out on the perimeter, and kind of guard them on the 3-point line.
Yeah.
Can't turn the ball over, obviously, and can't have long run outs into transition threes. But if we eliminate the 3-point line, again, I'm going to talk about it. We have the advantage considerably. So, but a fun matchup because it's a fun style of basketball that they play. And like I said, they remind me of Alabama, not just because they look, but younger coach for coaching perspective, analytic. And then when you watch, you're like, oh, that's a bad shot, but that'd be fun to play in this system. Fuck it. And you're like, just let it rip, son. And that's kind of how they do it. And if they get hot, let's say they go 15 or 30, it's gonna be a long night for you.
Really,
you know what I mean? And then, or like I said, they had 11 for 30. Well, that's not a great percentage. 33 points on 30 shots. You tell me if that's good basketball or not. And it's crazy how people think of it that way, but it's okay.
Yeah.
In theory, I got 1 point every time I put it up there from that distance, and you're like, oh, interesting way to put it. So yeah, great matchup. Excited about it. Like I said, excited to be able to call another game in the arena.
What would you say you're hoping to see like Gonzaga come out and do on Saturday?
I think defensively, I want to see like how good we are in the switch game because obviously we're playing two bigs now, and our strength, and I've talked about it in the past. Teams that could switch everything are really hard to guard. Now the counter to it is like obviously you're going to have multiple ball screen coverages, 4 to 5 if you're really good. And then it's based on your personnel. But if you can switch all actions, you can take away some of those 3-point opportunities because they run a bunch of DHOs, zooms, chases where they throw and go and things like that. If you can just switch it, then you take away the minute advantages that come about where you're late and then they stick it for 3 because guys are so skilled. So I want to see that. Obviously, I want to see him establish the inside presence, and then I'll be really curious to how they defend us inside. And that's going to be a theme for all the teams that we play, especially the better ones. How are you going to guard two lefties that are, like All-American types? What are you going to do? So are you going to double team right away? Okay, now if they do that, swing, are we going to make threes? If we do that, it punishes them. If they don't, then it makes it tough. But our big-to-big passing is so good as well. So even getting double team, it's not terrible. But that's a theme for the whole season, man. Like, how do we handle double teams? How are they covering us in the post? And some teams do this. They do the opposite, and I've believed it too. Like, if you play a team with a really good inside player or just a good guard, just like a really dominant scorer that can get you 30, 35. And we have a couple of those guys, but not where it's like where it scares you. Some teams are like, go ahead, just throw it to him. He's not going to get 60 and just guard everybody else. And I've seen that too, where it's like, yeah, like cool. Such and such had 45, but nobody else touched the ball the rest of the game. We won. I've seen that too. Teams used to do that to me every once in a while. Like they'd be like, he's obviously can score the ball. He's going to be really good. We're just going to face guard the other guys. And it's not like they're not helping, but they're like, am I going to score 60? No. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so sometimes teams do that. They're like, go ahead, throw it in post. We'll play them 1-on-1. They're not going to, they're not Wilt Chamberlain. They're obviously great, but then we'll just flare out to everybody else and we'll take away your swings. And some of our guys are standstill jump shooters. 0.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or whatever. So long rant, basically saying it's fun to hear. It's fun to watch, especially early, what defensive scheme teams use because we're so unique inside with two lefties that can score the basketball. That makes sense.
Yes. So I want to ask about foul trouble in last night's game. Like, and I don't know how much last night matters in the foul problems, but Braden got 4 and he had him 4 before like 5 minutes in the second half.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to be a concern in these bigger games?
Because it was the technical counted as a personal.
Oh,
That's why.
yeah.
Yeah, so he only had 3, but that's the stupid college rule that a technical counts as a personal.
Ah, okay.
That's why it was dumb. And the technical was awful. That was one of the worst ones I've seen in a long time. What happened, and I said it on the air, is the previous play, remember Braden, 2 plays before, Braden got hammered on one of his, spin jump hooks.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next play down, he gets called, literally the next play he's trying to reach over the top on a 3/4 in the post, and they call foul, and he starts jumping up and down. And that same official turned and looked at him and stopped and then walked away. So he already had him pegged. And then when Braden got hammered again, or the and one, he said he went like this. He just put his hands up. And so the official, he was standing right next to us, and we heard the conversation with Coach Few. He goes, he went like this. And I was like, I wanted, obviously I'm not going to chime in, but like, that's such like establish my dominance officiating. It was so bad. Like, run the other way. And then 2 plays later, like, if you want to go man to man, like, tell him, like, don't ever fucking do that to me again, and I'll tee your ass up. But that was so quick on the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I had refs tell me that. Like, a Randy Burkhart back in the day, we played, I think when we played St. Joe's at home, my junior year, I got fouled on a breakaway, and it looked like a goaltend. A guy pinned it off the glass, and I was cussing him out the entire way, but not like MF, and I'm like, call a foul, just boom, boom. 2 plays later on a break, he came up to, like, he kind of sided. He's like, don't ever fucking talk to me like that again. And like, I got them, like, he was basically telling me, I should have rung your ass up.
Right.
But it was good. I never talked to him the rest of the season. I didn't because I showed him up. So I thought it was inconsequential to the outcome of the game. But it was also like one of the weakest technicals I've ever seen.
Yeah.
As far as like, dude, he just went like this. Like, you're a veteran official. Obviously, he's a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Go tell him to shut up, but don't like ding him right away or run the other way. Like, get off your ego. Like, you got to have no ego when you ref too.
Right.
So that was the sequence.
Yeah.
And that's why he got subbed out. But then did you notice they put him right back in? Because it was like, I said it too. I was like, it sucks because he started to get going, and then you want your horses early to have a really good first game, especially when they're going to only play like 10 minutes the second half.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you want them to get like 18 real quick. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I would coach it. So that's why they put him back in. Like, hey, you got 4. Who cares?
Yeah.
Don't foul out. Like, get out of the way. But like, just don't foul out. But like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, get yourself going, because that's who we're going to be feeding all game long. So
Yeah.
I don't think. But here's the other part. I thought DeJohn played, garbage time at the end. But what a luxury to have him if there is a foul trouble situation when you want to play 2 bigs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's not like, it doesn't drop off the planet. He's a big lefty. He defends the rim. Obviously, he's not as skilled, but it's not like, oh my God, you can't even throw him the ball.
Right.
So it's like, that's the other part. Like, but then the question is, if there's a foul situation, you just play Worley at the 4 probably and play a little more nimble. But if there's a personnel scheme and you still want to stay with the package offensively that you're running, you could put DeJohn in, and you're still with 2 big lefties that can protect the rim. I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy how much like flexibility they have.
Definitely. Yeah, no, it's,
you know what I mean?
These next two upcoming games against, or 3 for that matter, are going to be very, very interesting to see.
Yeah, it's a great schedule coming up for sure.
Well,
The Perimeter will be right back after a word from our sponsor.
It's time for Home Team Rewards. Zag fans, get your Bulldog branded ICCU Premier Rewards Visa credit card, the only card where you can earn rewards for everyday purchases while giving back to Gonzaga University. Choose from a Visa Rewards card with a lower rate or a Premier Rewards card with maximum rewards. With no annual fees, card control, and next-level security, you can spend smart from tap to app. Zags, rejoice! Find your card at iccu.com/gozags on approved credit.
Coming up for sure.
Well, we kind of talked about it. I got our M4 CPA stat of the week. You mentioned the 36 home openers in a row, but last night was our 22nd opening day win or opening game win in a row. And that's this. I mean, I just think that these streaks are insane, and that is just having opening game wins in a row. And but what I found was, it's not interesting, but like our last opening day loss was, do you remember it? Do you remember the game?
St. Joe's.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, that is wild to even think. 2003 Madison Square Garden.
Yeah,
my freshman year. I remember, so going into that season, I was like, you're probably going to redshirt. Then I had a really good fall. And they're like, you're probably going to maybe play a little bit. And obviously I'm, type 1 diabetic. So that was like, well, what's the routine? So we had to figure that out, okay, how does that work? And, can this work in college? Blah, blah, blah. There was a lot of questions. But I played so good in summer and fall, they were like, fuck, he's going to have to play. Because like I said, we had 6 seniors. We were really good. How do you fit in? So anyway, we were at like, I like to say NYU or like one of the small universities in, Manhattan or wherever we were staying. Yeah. Okay. And it was one of those cool gyms that's like below ground level. So you go in and you're walking into this, it looks like community college, but they're the little colleges, but universities like in New York, they're all over the place. Cool one, like the public ones.
Yeah.
And we get into this gym and, we're warming up and somebody was either hurt or sick. But like as we're doing our dry run, Coach Few said the starting lineup. He's like, Adam, you're starting, and I could feel it right now. I probably turned like as red as seriously,
yeah,
because I was like, what? So I didn't say that because I'm not gonna show fear. I didn't know half the plays, and that was when we ran plays. We didn't run actions. Obviously, they have plays now. We ran fucking plays. I didn't know half of them. I just didn't. I didn't have enough experience. Doesn't matter. I wasn't paying attention in practice, but I remember I was like, holy shit. And yeah, we ended up playing St. Joe's. That St. Joe's team made it to the Final Four, I believe, was undefeated. It was the Jameer Nelson, Delonte West. There was Pat Carroll, who was a good player. And then they had another big that was good. And they were just like Philly tough. And I remember running out at Madison Square and the boos. I've obviously played in loud arenas, been in loud arenas. It was one of the top 3 for me as far as how fucking loud it was. And they were all St. Joe's people from Philly to New York because it's an hour train ride or whatever.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, oh shit. And we actually hung in there with them. We didn't get blown out, but that was a really good team. My first college game. Started that game, then didn't start the rest of the year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Started that game, and then he went with Kyle Bankhead, which was the right decision, and then I came off the bench. I don't know why it was weird why he started me.
Was Bankhead sick? I tried to pull up the box score, and I couldn't find the box score anywhere.
He wasn't sick. I had 10. I remember I had 10. I made my first jumper on the baseline. But yeah, that's crazy. That was the last opening he lost. So I was a part of that. That sucks.
Wait, but it was 22 years ago.
I know, but still, it's like, hey man, there's things, I always brag on the air. I'm like, I've never lost at home. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
They're talking about the other great Zag players. I'm like, well, I never lost at home, and there was 2 years I didn't lose a conference game.
Right.
Like, what about you? You know what I mean? Like, obviously it was a little bit different, but yeah, that's crazy. Good M4 CPA stat of the week right there. That was fantastic.
Yeah. So our next thing I want to talk about, we already talked a lot about the players, is our foundation player of the week, the McGilvery Foundation Player of the Week. And I put down Tyon Grant-Foster and Jalen Worley, but really, like, who last night did you see out there that like it was just like, I can't wait to see this guy play for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think both those two are fantastic. I mean, Jalen was all over the floor. We talked about his numbers, plus 33. Tyon gets to start, backed it up, leads us in scoring, was terrific, but most stuff are around the rim, and he's going to get in better shape. He's going to be great. I think the foundation, just off of curiosity and how we've played, I'm still looking for more of Braden Smith. I want to see more. I need to see more
Okay.
before it gets to be, okay, yeah, this is our guy. And it's not a pressure thing. It's just a reality thing. The point guard play in the last 4 years here, but two Nemhard brothers has been really good.
Mhm.
And then before that was Josh Perkins, really good. And you can literally go down the line. We haven't had a shitty point guard in 25 years.
Right.
He's not shitty. I'm not even implying that. I'm just saying there's big shoes to fill here just because of how we play and what you have to do to make the engine run. Do you see what I'm saying? So, like, for the foundation of our team, obviously our foundation guys are the two lefties. I'm going to call them the two lefties inside. But I want to see how his base will be going forward, especially against Oklahoma.
Yeah. So I got a couple of texts from people last night about the game and just reactions.
Mm-hmm.
Someone said to me, like, and I feel like it's fair to bring up, is Mario, he came in and he looked really good at point, and him breathing down like Braden Smith's neck, like possibly replacing him in the future, who knows? That was what kind of came up, and I was like, I don't know if this should come up, but like, he looked good. And
yeah, they both see. Yeah, exactly. So we talked about it the first half. Saint Spree plays more.
Yeah.
But then Braden Smith really led that second half.
Yeah.
Right? That first probably first media and second media, he was terrific. He had like 4 assists really fast, got downhill, got to the right spots. Remember, he had those little, so it's like, okay, that's how you got to play the entire time. But it's going to be like that for a lot of guys. There's going to be somebody like constantly on your back.
Yeah.
Is that fair? No. But is it the modern, a good program style now? Yeah, you just stack the roster. That was never my case. And so I understand it until, later in my basketball career, but it was like, 7.5 of us play, 8 of us play. Now it's like, fuck, we got 12 or 11, like we've talked about. So yeah, it'll be curious to see. Again, point guard play is so important for this program, every point program, but just on the pedigree that we've had in the last 25 years, and then obviously John. It's I got to see. I just want to see more. It's not a like, oh, you just got to prove it every single second. It's like, no, but Oklahoma's a real test, and Saint Cyprien looked good, but also, throwing a couple of those that go out of bounds in a tight game, Coach Few is going to sub them so fast that it's going to be like,
yeah.
So tighten that up. But for foundation players, obviously those two guys, Grant-Foster and Worley, were terrific. But going forward for our foundation, going into the Oklahoma game, I want to see the point guard play.
Yeah. Not called point guard you for nothing. Right?
100%. I mean, look at the guys like I said, you just go down the list. Like even there's guys that were terrific for us to play, like Ryan Woolridge. How great was he for a year?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's guys that we've all forgot.
Definitely, yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, he was pretty good for a year or two. Like point guards. We haven't had a bad one. Yeah. We haven't.
And I think we don't still. So
no, we don't. Exactly. Not even close.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But it's like the last 4 years with 2 NBA guys, last name's Nemhard, both of them, there's big shoes to fill. That's my only point. Yeah. So anyway.
Next segment, Ask Adam presented by Idaho Central Credit Union. This first one is about Parker Jefferson. He is a freshman who has decided to redshirt. And the reason why I bring this up is we see players redshirting every once in a while. And Parker Jefferson came in as a top 150 player. But you've mentioned this before on the show, is not enough players decide to redshirt.
Yeah.
And my question is, whose decision is it?
It's about a 50-50.
Okay.
Usually how it works is, obviously strength in another year, especially in a young man's life, makes dividends. It really does. I mean, if we think back, I'm 41, you're about the same age as me, correct? How much stronger were you from 18 to 19 and then 19 to 20? Like even just thinking about back, and you're like, oh shit, it's a big difference. And then like sometimes, especially at a program like this, like you could be terrific in practice. You ain't going to play, man.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I mean, look at if we went back in time and took like Rui before like 16, whenever he was here, 16, 17 or whatever, 17, 18, I can't remember, whatever.
Yeah.
He would have redshirted that freshman year because he wasn't going to play. It's just different now.
Mm-hmm.
But like you had a lottery pick that literally didn't get in the game. Can you imagine what one extra year would have done for him? He would have left after his sophomore year instead of his junior.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that was the argument I got. I remember I asked him, like, why wouldn't you redshirt the kid? They're like, he's going to be a pro in 3 years anyway. So we might as well have him ready just in case. And I was like, I never even thought about that. So point is, it's usually a 50-50 decision. Some teams will tell you you are redshirting and it's not your decision. And that could bother people. It could be hard because you're obviously not playing the entire year. You're basically a scout team guy, but you do, if you're good at it, you'll gain weight and you'll really focus on your skill set and you'll still get reps in practice. You should be getting a lot of reps actually, like scout team, like number one guy. That's fun times. I was on the red squad my freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
And I was playing, but like you get to kind of just goof off and just play.
Yeah.
So, I think for him doing that, obviously I haven't watched him enough, but we got 3 really good bigs. Worley's going to play. Redshirting makes complete sense.
Definitely.
Now, and we have one of the greatest all-time stories of redshirting in the history of college basketball. Is Kelly Olynyk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kelly literally was, and he won't get mad because I say that because I spent a summer with him going into the year that he was, player of the year candidate. I was coming back from an ACL. So me and him, David Stockton, Martis Cada, a couple other guys that were, David's older brother, Mike, like we used to play we played 3-on-3 for 2 months straight every day at the day court, beat the shit out of each other. It was awesome. But that summer, I was like, this kid, holy shit. He took a year and redshirted. He lost the 15 pounds of baby fat that he had on him. He worked on his skill set. He worked on, speed training, everything. He's still in the league. 15 years. He's going to be the guy. He's going to be, besides John, he's going to be the guy that's probably made the most money. He will. And he's going to play the longest. Domus will maybe catch him. But like of all the Gonzaga guys.
That's crazy.
He redshirted because he was going to transfer. Because they were like, dude, you're a post player. He's like, no, I'm a guard. Which now you look at his game, you're like, he's not a guard, but he has guard skills. That's why he's good.
Mm-hmm.
But he had to lose weight. He had to get fast. He had to like rethink his thing. One of the greatest redshirting stories of all time.
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah.
So
that's
to go back on the question is like it's a 50-50 thing usually, and then sometimes it's the program. A lot of it has to do with the personnel. I'm for redshirting. It's changed now. The programs don't really like it as much, just because like, why wouldn't you have all the guns in your barrel or the bullets in your barrel?
Mm-hmm.
But the counter is like, well, yeah. So how do I say this the right way? Like, let's say you're us, right? And you redshirt a guy and you spend all the time developing him.
Mm-hmm.
He gets really good and then he transfers. Or you're like, well, fuck that.
Right.
So that's part of it too.
Mm-hmm.
As messed up as it sounds.
Yeah.
Is like, why would I, and that sounds like harsh, but why would I spend all this time like developing a pure raw talent? This is more for the smaller schools, like a Big Sky school or WCC, like some of these other schools. And then I'm just going to give them away. So that's part of it too. Like it's not used as much as it was in the past. Obviously, it's more of a football thing. Mm-hmm. But again, I almost redshirted.
I was going to ask, like,
swear to God, that was kind of the plan with my parents. My dad was like, yeah, like I think you're good enough, but obviously I'm thin, like just natural body type. And I just had such a good summer and fall. I was playing so good. So he's like, well, you're ready. But like we were going into it like, you might redshirt this year. And like I said, the diabetes stuff had part of it. Like, okay, we got to figure out your routine. How's this going to work? But we went into it with an open mind. So anyway, Parker Jefferson's the right decision. He's not going to play this year. Might as well redshirt. Yeah. Lose some weight. And I mean that in a nice way, but like get in college shape and get better. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah. We've had a lot of guys do it. obviously before, but it's a really good tool. But again, like I said, if you have like an NBA type down the road, like a Rui, they're like, why waste a year?
Why waste a year? Yeah.
Yeah. Like he's going to leave anyway. So I might as well have him just in case. Because that year he barely played, but what if 2 guys get hurt? Then you have them.
You're right.
So anyway.
Yeah. No, I it's nice to see. And I hope that this year will treat him well and then he'll be back.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously.
Well, we have good track record.
Yeah.
We have good guys on staff that are good trainers, if that makes sense. You know, obviously have grinded it out in their coaching careers doing that. I did that a little bit the year I GA'd. I had to work guys out and stuff like that. So like, it's not like they're just, here you're on the scout team, you go away. Like you're still getting everything you need because you're not going to play.
Yeah.
And a part of it too, though, is how much you want to get out of it. It's part of it's on the kid too, because like you can't, you know, what's the old expression? Can't lead a horse to water, right? So like you're gonna have all the services. Obviously, you're gonna have workouts, but it's like no, you have to like bust your ass the entire year to make a difference on your body. But it's a free year. Yeah. So anyway,
well, I was gonna say, like, if anyone has questions, please you can email the show at theperimeter@gmail.com. You can slide into our DMs on Instagram. You can comment on Spotify, YouTube. Leave your comments there, and we'll start getting some more questions on the show.
Terrific. Next week we'll do a short episode of Creighton and ASU. I think that's going to be a great, another great home game. It's cool that Creighton's coming into the kennel. And then we're playing an on-campus game at ASU, which I think is awesome too.
Yeah.
A lot of times, I understand the neutral site ones, and it gets more people in the building. But it's cool to play home, like true home and homes.
Yeah.
For the students, and it's better atmosphere. Obviously, it doesn't hit the bank account as much for the other programs, but it's cool that we're going to ASU. It should be lively. They get down.
It's better for the quad 1, quad 2 wins. So
amen. And we haven't started like we talked about that so much last year. Stop saying it. No,
maybe we won't talk about it as much this year.
You're like, no, I don't want to do this.
Last year we had to. The whole time we were like, all right, if we're Ken Poly, like we had so many different scenarios, and it was like, just win the tournament, guys. God damn it, like just do this. So anyway, great episode. Thanks for helping out, and we appreciate our sponsors, McGilvery Environmental, Idaho Central Credit Union, M4 CPA. Again, remember to tune in 590 AM KQNT on iHeart 96.1 locally, but you can find it on iHeart and the Varsity app. If you want to listen to our pregame and postgame, I get not syncing up live. It's the 5-second Janet Jackson rule. Yep. But if you want to listen to the pregame and postgame, Tom Hudson's terrific. And you really get an in-depth of what happened during the game, and then also pregame. We don't talk about betting, but if you are one of those people, it would help. Yeah. So I know that's a real thing now, and we can talk about that. Why? Yeah. Why not? Why not? It's whatever. So thank you for listening. Come back next week.